This is Three Dog.
How can I help?
This is VGS, the only show where you can sit back, relax, and enter the world of video games. VGS. Introducing your intrepid host, the, brutally honest David Spargella.
As you of all people should know, there's plenty wrong with me.
And the mind and beard behind all things, Andy Borkowski.
I am a biotic god. Fear me, lesser creatures.
Listen, contribute, and have your say.
VGS.
We should probably get going on the show, because we're going to run out of time if we don't.
Begins now.
We are very soon entering the holiday season for gaming. The holiday season for gaming is not the traditional Christmas season. It's not, near the end of November into December. It is October. That's when the big games come out, and we here at VGS are here to help you navigate what you need to get, what you don't need to get. I'm Andy Borkowski, of course, the host that you've gotten used to over the past few years. Another voice, he presses the buttons, he's got a hat on, he's a pretty face. David Spargella, not Shaggy Dave anymore. It's David Spargella.
I'm just trying to get out of that.
Yeah.
The hair's not there right now, so...
What happened to it?
I buzzed it.
Let's see. Can I take a look?
Nope.
Nope, not allowed. Okay.
That's why the hat's there.
So if you are watching this online, make sure you do. Keep watching us. If you're listening, go to YouTube, Video Game Sophistry, VGS, and you can see what it's like to record and have a gaming radio show. And of course, if you want to contribute, you can do that too. We have an army of interns here, the intern army.
No,
and
that's the edge.
Oh, is it not?
Yeah.
We can't just use that?
It's intern armies.
Armies.
Backwards N.
Backwards N.
Yeah.
Armenian interns.
Intern. Army.
That's what we have.
No.
That's not appropriate. So what's going on, man? We missed you last week. Did you know it was us when we called?
No.
Really?
I was trying to watch... you don't want to hear it. I was watching something and...
Yeah, what were you watching?
I was watching the Clash of Champions pre-show. It was wrestling.
Oh, wrestling. Yes,
And
he's
then,
a big wrestling fan.
Phone rang and the hell is this? I just heard noise. And I heard my voice. What the hell is this?
So for those of you that missed it, head to our website, take a look, because we made a soundboard of Dave and then played it to Dave when he wasn't here. We did find that you say yeah and okay a lot during this show.
Yep.
All right, but today we're talking about a very specific thing within game. We're going to, cover the news, everything that's been happening. We got some big interviews, going to talk about some of the big titles, but I want to take some time to focus on gameplay mechanics and how it interacts with the world you're playing in. Sounds boring, right, Dave?
Yes, sir, it does.
It is not, though. It's exciting.
So boring.
Do you remember the first game?
Nope.
Not the first game.
Okay.
Let me finish. The first game that allowed you to double jump.
Super Smash Brothers? That's the
Really?
one I remember.
That's what you remember?
Yeah.
I remember it as, again, in that Super Mario vein, the ability to double jump changed the way that I played this one game so much that if I ever played any other platformers of that era, it was never really the same. I think about other games, too, like World of Warcraft. For the longest time, there was no jump feature, and then all of a sudden, they added the ability to fly. And it just blows up everything in the world. It can't be changed, and we can't go back to what that was before. So this week we're going to talk about games that made these small changes, these small iterative differences that kind of revolutionized how we play games like that. We're going to talk about GTA. We're going to talk about some great Ubisoft games because we had a chance to speak to the folks at Ubisoft this week. You missed out, though.
Sorry. Maybe next year, man. I'm sorry.
Well, it was a cool event.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah, you're pretty ill right now.
64.3% right now.
That's not a good percentage.
It's not.
It's not. But it was a pretty cool event. Ubisoft Toronto, Parizeau, the managing director there, he invited us down for Ubisoft 30. There was tons of people, a lot of industry people that kind of looked at me and the intern Armenians and were a little confused as to why we were there. But
what were you wearing? Maybe something
kind of like this. So,
What is that?
What is this? It is something that is not very
it's not
approachable.
A suit.
Not a suit. Don't own one.
Well,
Never
you
will.
should have dressed to impress. Maybe it's your own fault.
All right, Dave, come on.
I'm serious.
We're on the same team here.
No.
The important thing was they gave us free food, free booze, and
What?
free access to all
Free
their
booze?
stuff. Free booze. A lot of wine, but it was classy stuff, too. Yeah, they had beers, but it was
remember what
classy
they had?
stuff. The beers?
Yeah.
No.
Canadian and stuff.
No, actually, it was like, I do know it was, this is very unimportant
It's
information.
okay. It's very important.
It was like a specific microbrewery that was there
Mill Street?
hosting it. It wasn't Mill Street. No, it was called like Red Snap or something. Snap Red. It's really good. So
Snapple?
I really hope that I'm not giving you enough credit. It was absolutely wonderful. And then we got to see, though, the big important thing. It wasn't Snapple. The big important thing.
With vodka.
We got to see Watch Dogs 2, a huge, like, I want to say about 45 minutes, a half hour of the game. I got to warn you, Dave. They killed a dog in it.
No!
Yeah, and like
That's
it was bad.
Why would you tell me this?
I wanted to tell you now. The feature is later in the show.
I didn't. No.
He did not watch that dog.
I cannot go on.
He did not watch that dog.
How come they didn't call the second Watch Dogs and the first Watch Dogs Watch Dogs?
Because that's not how it works. It's not plural. The thing is not about having more Watch Dogs. It's the idea that anyways. So we saw this game and how it all works. It was crazy cool. Some of the interns also got to see For Honor, so we're going to be discussing that. And the big thing about Watch Dogs 2 is there's a feature in it that I think could really change how these open world games work. So that kind of is what inspired all this. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We got to get to the business at hand.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's been a while.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, we have not had Tom on the show for a little while.
Not our intern Tom. This is Tom Jones.
Yeah, no, our intern Tom can't sing so beautifully. And he's alive.
Sure.
Okay, so this is, of course, our feature where we look at the games that are coming out in the next 7 days. That's a release window, Sunday to Sunday. Starting with number 1, we had one of the interns, I told them to get us some information about these games.
Okay. Yeah.
And Rich, you got to love him, he decided to take that and write us a script in our own voices.
Yeah.
So here we go.
guy.
Yeah, game number 1, Origami. This year proves that stealth genre is not dead. Origami puts you in control of a zombie assassin armed with the powers of darkness to fight the evil forces of light. As you travel through the world, you slowly discover your past and how to become an undetectable ghost or a shadow assassin.
Cool.
Thank you, Rich. You're up.
Okay, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered campaign for pre-orders PS4. That's the whole title. Dave's favorite game gets a release date. That's me.
You
Or
didn't
at
write
least-
that, though, right?
No, I did. I talk in the...
In the third person?
Yeah, like Jimmy Seinfeld. Dave's favorite game gets a release date, or at least the story does. The PS4 campaign for Call of Duty Modern Warfare is available on October 5th for those that pre-ordered. 30 days before any other platform. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh, and if you remember, if you pre-ordered COD MW on any platform, you got Infinite Warfare for free on the release day as well. That's my
So
joke.
that was the joke that you did.
I know.
We might have to bring Rich in here.
Steals everything.
He's in the other room. We might have to bring him in here.
Give him to an otter.
All right, that's terrible. So the third game coming out, it's kind of a big one, Mafia 3. It's coming out PC, PS4, Xbox One on October 7th. The other two are coming out on the Tuesday. Mafia 3, 2K. Okay, I'm going to read this again. Mafia 3, 2K is really hammering home a few facts. It's 1968. The rules have changed. After years in Vietnam, Lincoln Clay knows this truth. Family isn't who you're born with. It's who you die for, man.
It's Vin Diesel. Straight up.
I think Rich, he's very creatively strangled here, so this is one opportunity to speak. The game takes place closer to the current day than the previous ones, and you get to explore his dangerous life. It actually looks pretty cool, despite what Rich wrote here. It's a really, really neat game that's going to meld different genres. The Mafia games are always pretty fun.
I like the second one. I played it. I just bought it randomly years ago, and I really enjoyed it.
It's unsurprising.
I don't remember what happened, but I remember I really enjoyed it.
I think Mafia
I should
people
play it again.
killed each other.
I let my friend borrow. I don't think I ever got it back. Moving on.
Let's continue.
Paper Mario Color Splash Wii U. Color, you know he's American when he spells color COLOR.
Oh,
we love him though.
we do.
Sometimes. The Wii U has one last major non-Zelda hurrah before the announcement of the NX, and it's everyone's favorite Italian plumber.
Can you read? I love your read here, Dave.
What part?
The Italian plumber.
Italian plumber.
It had vim and vigor to it.
The Italian plumber. At first look, it uses tons of color-based puzzles and a similar battle system seen in 3DS prequel, Sticker Star, but revamped and retooled and into a really complex and intuitive.
Are you okay?
Did you spell it right?
Which word are you looking at?
Intuitive. Did he spell that right?
It's meant to be intuitive.
Intuitive.
but
Okay, I think he spelled it wrong.
Phonetically.
Intuitive system. Here's hoping this is a good send-off for the console. I think it will be. Paper Mario is always good stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for
Big round
Rich.
everyone. We
Everyone.
should take a break because I need to gather my thoughts.
Blah. We need to take a break. More Ubisoft talking about all their games and gameplay mechanics, how they change the games we play. Let's take a rest.
This is VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Andy Burkowski back here, VGS, talking games, talking fun, talking Ubisoft, joined by Dave, Not So Shaggy, and, of course, Liam the intern. He's here.
Oh,
Your mic was...
again.
come on, man.
I was cut.
How are you
Hello.
doing, sir?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Not bad. Yeah.
Happy to be here?
Thrilled.
He is our resident newsman, so he's here to kind of give us some insight, another opinion on the news that's happening this week. It can't just be Dave talking about Harambe every week.
Aha! I love that story. It's a great story.
Aha!
Did you go to the vigil, by the way? Nah, it's not important.
No, not important.
At Ryerson.
I didn't.
They did have one of those.
So funny.
We talked
They
about
played
it here a lot.
Blink-182's I Miss You.
You went?
No, I didn't. They live streamed. It was so funny.
I did watch the live stream. I was like in another building, but like on campus.
I do not understand young people, like at all.
It's so funny.
Even a
I
little
feel
bit.
bad that the girl is dead. Just want to say the girl is dead. I feel so bad for her. But it's just that they're mocking these people that are taking it so seriously.
All right,
That's
we
why
do
it's
not
funny.
need to talk about Harambe
Yeah, we do.
whatsoever.
Yeah, it's video game related.
He's
Maybe
in
not.
2K16.
Maybe not. It
Damn
depends
it,
on what it is.
17.
Oh, it's 7. Oh yeah. It's
All
the
right.
current year.
So the important thing is, that's good. We just had a little bleeping sound. That's great.
It's fine.
This week we're talking, like we said before, about gameplay mechanics. Liam, can you think of a gameplay mechanic that you think is just the bee's knees?
Ooh.
That's just great. Search your mind, young
You know, the
Skywalker.
slow motion shooting.
Yes, indeed. Max Payne style.
Really the first Max Payne is
Yeah.
kind of what introduced it into video games, at least. And then that's reappeared constantly, but that's always so much
Kind of
fun.
dead now, though. Like you don't see a lot of that anymore.
It was in
slow
Watch
motion?
Dogs.
You do.
The first
What?
Yeah, the first Watch Dogs. That was like one of your abilities. You could like slow down time when you were shooting.
Michael has it in GTA 5, and it's in Red Dead as well.
All right, so I am incorrect. And
know nothing.
I know nothing about video games. So now, to save myself, I am going to cut to News of the Week with Mr. Dave.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Oh, no, you can't just
Hello, games, tell me lies. Very nice musical choice here, David Sprague-Allen.
Love the Fleetwood Mac.
Love the Fleetwood Mac.
The Fleetwood Mac.
The Fleetwood Mac. Who doesn't love Fleetwood Mac?
Lots of people.
So the reason we've chosen this, of course, is because of that News of the Week story you just heard. The UK's Advertising Standards Authority is going to investigate if Hello Games lied to us all when they said their game would be good. First of all, let's set the stage. Liam, you played a lot of No Man's Sky.
Yeah, fair bit.
Dave, no interest whatsoever.
No, I don't even have a PS4.
Okay, so it's going to be me and you here.
Mono and mono.
This one, mono a mono. So you've had a chance to look at the information. We just heard about it in News of the Week. The Advertising Standards Authority has done this before. So they also investigated a mobile game called Dungeon Keeper that supposedly was free to play, and it turned out it wasn't. And
Was that as hype?
it was not. I don't think many people, waited in line to get Dungeon Keeper, but they did force Sega, and I remember this back in 2013, to admit that the first trailer for, Dave, one of your favorite games, Aliens Colonial, is that Colonial?
Colonial Marines?
Yeah, Colonial Marines. Sega had to say that it didn't look as good as the trailers, that there was some downgrading, or else they would have been sued. They would have been held in liable for that. So this organization can do something. It can kind of make Hello Gamers not necessarily pay for anything, but just kind of say to the community that we did mislead you, that we did do something incorrect. This is only in the UK. We're not doing it here across the ponds. Blathering over. Does anyone really care?
A lot of people still care a lot.
Yeah.
I think.
So the answer to
More
that
than
question
they
is
probably
yes.
should.
Yeah.
I don't care as much because I was probably among the minority that really did enjoy the final product of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of just a gray area type situation more than anything. It's not as obvious of a downgrade or drop in quality as Aliens Colonial Marines was. But there's definitely quite a bit missing that I think people just assumed would be in there.
See, that I think is where this investigation will get interesting, because on the one hand, you have something like Colonial Marines, which visually just didn't look as it was intended to. They said it would, it didn't.
Just a broken mess.
Yeah,
too.
a broken mess. Didn't work out. Whereas in No Man's Sky, there's a lot of stipulation that they didn't follow through with exact things that were said. And there's some debate about whether or not Sean Murray said these things, the main head honcho, at Hello Games. But there is one thing that they do have a clip of. We tried to find it, we couldn't, but it is out there, of him saying that in this game you would be able to possibly find someone else and see them in the game and just say, like, hi, we're on the same planet. And multiple people have said that can't happen. It didn't happen in their online game. So that is something that they should have done that wasn't there. So maybe there is a case to be had. Whether or not like this should happen or this is a good idea, I think is a much more interesting topic. I don't really know if it's such a great thing to have advertising standards come in and look at your game because it wasn't everything that you thought it would be. We're not talking about someone trying to sell you a Big Mac. Yeah. We're talking about someone giving you a piece of art that you're trying to experience, especially No Man's Sky is very
a small studio, and they poured their hearts into it for sure.
But you see the difference there, right? It's the fact that an ad standards bureau is looking at this kind of plays a little bit fishy and kind of denigrates this art form that we all really, really like. Like, this is an innovative, cool game. Mm-hmm. It seems weird that the same standards that look at Big Macs will look at No Man's Sky.
It is still just safe to say, $1 billion industry as well. Like,
you think it's that simple?
I think anything with that much value and that takes, $60 to $80 to $100 out of gamers' pockets, it is worthy of investigation when it's called for. I don't think this is that called for. You look at something like BioShock Infinite. Mm-hmm. That game, when it was first announced and first shown, had like way different features than the final product.
It was all under the water.
Nobody sued them.
They should have, because that game was a nightmare. So what are you thinking? Do you have anything on this No Man's Sky?
BioShock Infinite was
I hated that game.
Okay.
But do you think it's a good idea that these big bureaus come in and tell game studios that, like, you lied and you did this wrong? Like, do you think, is that really what gamers should be talking? Like, can't we just move on to the next thing?
Who cares? Yeah. You bought it. You got suckered in. You bought it. Just deal with it.
You put a pre-order down.
Just deal with it. What do you complain? It's not going to do anything.
Protesting never achieved anything.
Protesting never accomplished anything. Agreed.
Million Man March. Okay. So tell us what you think. Please send us a message, VGS at 640toronto.com. Are we off base here? Is this an important thing that we need to put our flag in the ground about? That innovation needs to be protected? Or is there a little bit of whiny babies on this one? If you could understand that. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break talking more about Ubisoft, all their cool games. After this, VGS.
Now back to Video Game Sophistry with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
Back here again, the video game show on AM 640. Do not switch the dial. This is not a mistake. We've been doing this for a while. Hopefully you enjoy it. Give us a chance. You think of video games as this basic, really obvious thing that is flashing lights and silly noises. It's a lot more than that. I'm joined by Shaggy Dave. David, excuse me. No Shaggy Dave.
We lost the Shags for a while.
He does not do that anymore.
I do, but...
Anyways, we're talking about features in video games, what characters could do in a game that really changed something. And Dave, I got something in mind. I want to run it by you. I think one of the most innovative features that we've seen in the traditional media of games in the last little while has been in Grand Theft Auto 5. The idea, the innovation to be able to, no matter what you're doing, switch between three main characters and have a narrative impact for that, have, whenever you switch to other characters, funny little scenes of them doing, like, those are some of the best stuff in GTA 5.
Waking up just hungover, vomiting.
Or waking up in like a strip club wearing a horse's head. I would just go back and forth to see what it is. Or trying to get the characters to kill each other. Like, there's so much hilarious stuff you can do. but also it worked in the mission. You remember like some of the missions where you could fly and shoot? And,
Yeah, that you have to work together.
Yeah, you do everything at once. And when you read about it, I was concerned that this would be way too much, but they did it really, really well.
Yeah, I thought it'd be too complicated, but it wasn't at all. It was really easy.
Worked out seamlessly. And I think of another game that had kind of a seamless innovation that changed the way you walk in a world. I'm thinking of one of your favorites, right?
Yes. The Batman games, love it.
Yes!
Yeah, the detective mode, it's key. It really
is key.
It helps you take down all the enemies. It helps you find the Riddler trophies. Basically, using the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could, can you actually do it always in the game? You can't fight with detective mode on, can you?
I think you can. Like when there's smoke and stuff, it automatically turns on. There's an achievement actually in the Arkham Origins game without turning on detective mode.
That just seems
It's insane, yeah.
terrible.
But I think there's points in the game where you have to, but it takes that out, right?
Yeah, but that's like, I agree, that one mode of just pressing that button and seeing the world in this way, it made me think that when like I flew to a new area, that, I can't wait to turn detective mode because I get to see what's on the surface and also what's below. So very, very exciting. There's actually one more game I really want to talk to you about, David.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Andy convinces Dave. Na, 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 na.
Award-winning segment. I have 1 minute to explain. I should have said this beforehand. Okay, the game is Origami. It's what Rich tried to sell us on earlier in the show. You play as this really cool cel-shaded assassin. You have the choice to either kill or turn into shadows and avoid people. It's all 3D platforming. It looks so much like the really, really great Zelda games. There's even this little thing that goes, hiya, hiya, like in all the, what's that character? You know what it is. Really, really fun. You can play on the PC or PlayStation. You got to check it out. Oh, there's still more? We got more time? Okay, so I got scared there because the sound went out. The great thing is you can choose mission to mission to either kill everyone or be completely stealthy. And depending on those choices, it's a completely different game, and you can play a stealth action game with someone else. It's a multiplayer stealth action platformer. Imagine playing the great Zelda games, the great cel-shaded ones, with a friend. Similar cool aesthetics, so Japanese, so much fun. It's great. Okay, Origami. Whoa, that was a close one.
It's Japanese. It's called origami.
No, it's... God damn it. It's called Origami.
Origami. Not O.
Yeah, that was close.
It's cool. You sound like you're out of breath.
Oh, well, I forgot what that was for a second. I thought I had time afterwards to like explain to people what the segment is.
How much is this game?
It is cheap. It is like $14. See? $14.
Maybe when it goes on sale.
All right. Okay. So that we got a maybe from Dave, one of our award-winning features. We got to take another quick break. We're going to come back with Anton, another intern. He and I got to see a bunch of Watch Dogs 2, thanks to, of course, the people at Ubisoft Toronto. So we're going to go into that and some of the great features that they have there. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio AM 640.
Back here talking Watch Dogs 2. Andy Burkowski joined by Anton, the intern. They all have the surname The Intern, so you guys just have to get used to it. We got a chance to see some Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, it was actually fantastic.
Yeah, it was not bad. It was. You want to say fantastic?
I want to say fantastic, but I think it was just the overall experience that made it that way.
It was great. Again, if you haven't heard us laud the people at Ubisoft Toronto, we're going to do it again. They invited us for UB30. Alex Parizeau, which is the main interview you're going to hear after the break coming up. We got to see a little bit of For Honor, but we already talked about For Honor. We got to see a lot of Watch Dogs 2, though.
Yeah.
And I think the most impressive thing, let's paint a picture. We're in this beautiful basketball court that Ubisoft Toronto seems to have for pickup games. And they had a bunch of huge TV screens, great sound systems. And the very first thing you got to do as Marcus was interact with the NPCs of the world. And in this game, kind of like, you remember Fable 2 and Fable 3?
Yes.
Where you could do like the little chicken dance in front of... That's what Ubisoft did. So you walk up to an NPC and you can insult them, you can dance with them, and after that, I'll let you take it from there, Anton.
So after that, Basically, you mock one of the NPCs.
Yeah, you insulted one.
He comes over, he shoves you over. So Marcus, the protagonist, gets a little peeved and decides to call the cops on the NPC, which is a new mechanic where you're actually able to basically fake a police report and get the cops to come and arrest the NPC. The gentleman actually playing the demo, unfortunately I can't remember his name, so I'm sorry. But he was playing the demo, called the cops. The cops came and arrested the NPC, but he stated that there's a possibility that the NPC can do multiple things, like run away, fight the cops, or, take it like a man and just get arrested and pulled into the car.
And that's what happened this time. The cool thing was when you saw the NPCs and you interacted with them and highlighted them in this really seamless kind of, it was almost like a breadcrumbs kind of trail that would show a little tech thing that went to each little person based on your character. They had a NPC state. So that meant you could tell whether or not they were happy, sad. I think that was pretty much all. I don't know if they did like horny and hungry. I think it was just happy and sad. Let's hope it was just happy and sad. And based on what that is, the world will interact with you differently. And that, for me, is insane. Like, that explodes my brain. The guy screamed a hilarious expletive at us when we were leaving. We drove away. We got to see some of the mission. And then from there, we drove in the world, got to see how hacking works on the fly as you're driving, which is a lot more seamless now.
It's a lot more seamless, and there's more options to it.
Yeah.
It's not like the last game where it was literally press X and the lights turn and everybody crashes. No, this time around, you actually have options. So, for example, one parked car you find, you could tell it to go forward, you could reverse it, you could tell it to move left or right.
As you're driving.
Exactly.
And it seemed like you hear us say that, or you see a video and you think, wow, that's pretty complex. That's a lot to manage. But it happened really, really easily. And it was all big and vibrant and had this cool little DedSec artistic design that people seem to like. Not really my cup of tea. But it was big and easy to do, which I was really worried about looking in. But I don't know, man. It's really hard to describe. It was really, really quick, and there were so many different ways that you could hack and change the world, and it happened quicker and easier. And I just think the mechanic of hacking into a game, essentially like going into the meta game and saying, I'm going to break some parts of this because I know it's a game. If you remember, Saints Row 4 did that. The idea that you're literally in a simulation so you can mess everything up.
Yeah.
I think Watch Dogs 2 is one of the games that gets really, really close to doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
He's thinking, yeah. You see what I mean? You see the connection there, though?
Yeah, it's a fine line at that point where you're either breaking a game or you're not making it interactive enough to actually make you invested into it, right? So I feel like Watch Dogs 2 is actually stepping up from its predecessor and improved on a lot of things from the last game, which is, I wouldn't say surprising, but it's a nice breath of fresh air compared to some of the other games we've seen in the past.
Oh, yeah. No, it's cool to see that they're taking the idea of hacking and making it just so much more fun, because it's a brilliant notion. It's so cool. They had the little RC car that you can manipulate. You had the drone that you threw out, and you could hack from all of them. The one thing that was kind of weird, and we saw this in the game, was a bit of the dissonance that you're like this cool street tough fighting against the system, but you killed 3 people to get a car that had some robots in it. And like, you killed a dog, Dave. You destroyed this beautiful German Shepherd. And there wasn't any blood, thankfully.
Oh, no, there
But
wasn't.
people were upset in the audience when that happened.
Oh, one guy like shouted out, he's like, hey, what are you doing? And he took the car, he drifted around the corner, hit it too sharp, and this dog went flying across the street.
We're talking about, and we can't go much more into that. It wasn't gruesome, right? This is a video game, guys. But there was a bit, you know what I mean? There was a bit of that dissonance of your character acting a certain way, and then unfortunately, not really following through with the consequences of those actions. It's a huge game to look for. We're going to hear more about that right now. Thank you so much, Anton the intern. He's here. He's here all night, folks. Next up, Alex Parizeau. I think I'm saying that right. Sounds French. It is. He is the managing director of Ubisoft Toronto. He got to talk to us, and we got to talk to him, about the games that they're making at Ubisoft Toronto, about how it is to game in the city. Tons of cool stuff. We'll be back right after this.
Apollyon. I bring war.
Andy Burkowski here for VGS Talk Radio AM 640. Me and my esteemed guests were invited to this huge party in the middle of the city, UB30, celebrating 30 years working in the video game industry. And I'm here with one of the head honchos himself. Alex, thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Lots of free food and booze, so very, very nice.
Always good.
So what is the celebration here exactly? What do you guys celebrate?
We're celebrating a lot of stuff. First of all, I mean, really, it's an open house. We wanted to have our friends from the industry, local studios, and partners come here at the studio and celebrate with us. It's something that we've been wanting to do for a while, so we're just really excited that we're able to do it. And we're also celebrating UB's 30th anniversary. Huge deal, big deal. 30 years in this business is crazy. And it's also our 6th anniversary this month. The studio opened in 2010. And we also unveiled a really great program we call the Indie Series that's presented with National Bank.
Absolutely phenomenal. So for those that aren't aware, because we're in Toronto, you're in Toronto, you have this huge compound here in the middle of the city. How long have you guys been here in the city, and what's it like to operate in Toronto?
We opened our doors in 2010, and I came from Montreal with a few people from the office there in Montreal to open in the Junction area. We were only 5 people, I think, back then when we opened up.
Now look at
now,
this.
yes, it's pretty amazing to see how far we come. We're now almost 500 at the studio. We worked on several projects here: Splinter Cell Blacklist, Assassin's Creed Unity, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry 4, and we're working on Watch Dogs 2 and For Honor. So lots of really great projects. So
it's worked, but it's worked out nicely because you coming in from Montreal here in the city of Toronto. You know, a lot of people I think traditionally don't know that this city has a lot of great gaming talent. There's a lot of great people here making games. So,
the community and the industry in Toronto and Ontario is phenomenal, really. I mean, it's the indie game studios, I would say, that kicked off the industry here in the city. And the energy, the talent, the passion that all the studios and people working in the industry have is pretty mind-blowing. When I go to events like GDC or E3 and I meet people and we talk about all the games that are made in Ontario or Canada, people are just like, what? That's made in Ontario? It's absolutely phenomenal.
Well, it is great, because again, I don't think a lot of people know that this city has all this great talent. You mentioned that you're celebrating a lot of the indie titles that have worked with UB here today. What kind of indie titles? What kind of developers are here from outside of UB?
We have all sorts of developers,
tons of people.
Yeah, everyone from indie development studio to VFX studios to association and other partners. We've all come together tonight for this open house. Again, it's something that we've been wanting to do for a while. And we're also, of course, celebrating the Indie Series program that is kicking off now.
Tell us a little, what's the Indie Series program? What's that all about?
The Indie Series is a program that is designed to help develop Canada's leadership in video games. What we're doing with the program is supporting indie development studios. They can apply using our address www.toronto.ubisoft.com/indie series. And through there you can apply, and we will take registration up until November. We will select top participants, top games, and a jury of experts from National Bank and Ubisoft will select the winner. And the winner will have access to $50,000 of funding, pretty exceptional. We'll have access also to mentorship opportunities with both Ubisoft and the National Bank. And also access to a bunch of tools, creative tools, financial tools, distribution tools.
Huge opportunity there.
Really great opportunity, yeah.
All right, so we're going to keep watching that. We got to talk about the games that you guys are making here. We had the great pleasure a couple months ago to come in and put on the mocap stuff for Far Cry. And it was so much fun. It's amazing. For those of you who don't know, the work that goes into making video games, it's a well-oiled machine. It's a factory. You guys are here making these incredible games. There's 2 big titles that are coming out that I know you guys are working here, Watch Dogs 2 and For Honor. We're going to get a chance later to see a little bit more of both those titles. Why don't we start with Watch Dogs 2? How's development been? How is it working amongst the different teams across Canada?
Development's been amazing. This is a really exceptionally talented team. We in Toronto have worked on great missions, and we've contributed to open world as well, some of the world building. The city of San Francisco is looking absolutely phenomenal, best playground ever for Watch Dogs, so it's the game's looking really great.
So you guys are really focused on here a lot of the world building stuff, developing that.
Yeah, we worked on world building, and we worked on several missions as well in the game, and we've contributed to some features as well. Yeah.
Excellent. And now For Honor, can't forget that. They just had an open alpha a couple weeks ago. Huge response. People loving it. I think later we're going to get to see some people slashing each other. What are you guys doing working on that title here? How's development going on that?
Development's been doing well, really great. We have
new IP too, so it's difficult.
The game's so different from what you can see out there. It's looking really great. So we're really excited to contribute to the project. We are our performance capture team and our cinematics team have contributed to the cinematics for the single player campaign, and have done just a really phenomenal job. So yeah, the game's looking amazing. We're just so happy to work on the game and contribute to that really great project.
So you're working on these two huge AAA titles. You're going to help out some indies. How big do you think Ubisoft Toronto is going to get? What's the next big thing? Are you going to get bigger? More team members? What are you thinking?
Yeah, we're of course continuing to grow. We have a lot of exciting projects in development right now, and we're also integrating a lot with the community. One of the things that we're trying to do, we have our next showcase program that we do every year around the spring, because we're always on the lookout for the best talent that is coming out of the schools in Ontario. And this year alone, I think we've hired about 14 or 15 people from the competition.
Really? Wow.
So that's also been really great.
So it looks like, from what you're telling me here, you guys are really into the idea of grassroots building. You have this indie competition. You want to get people coming in from schools. If we're in Toronto, if we have an interest in game development, what do you recommend so that they can see you across the desk and interview here? What do you recommend someone that wants to get into the industry?
Well, I mean, the first thing that I would say is just engage with the industry. Like, there's so many events, so many people you can meet. I go to a lot of the events regularly. A lot of the people here go to the events regularly. You can meet people. So I would say that the first thing is to start engaging.
Get in there, see the people first. Yeah.
That is the first thing. I'd say the other thing that's important is to build on your passion. I mean, you can't just get in the games industry because you want to be in games industry. You also need to develop and build your skills. So whether you're an artist or you're a programmer or an engineer, it's about developing those skills and pushing them and building a strong portfolio. The great thing nowadays is that there's so many tools that are available for people to kind of build their own stuff and kind of learn. That it's easy to come in and start talking to studios with a really great portfolio and some experience, right?
You already have something to show them, that type of thing. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. We still got to check out Watch Dogs 2 For Honor. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Just a quick plug. When are the games coming out? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, November for Watch Dogs and February for For Honor.
November, February. Holidays all set. I'm Andy Burkowski, VGS Talk Radio, AM 640.
This is VGS with Andy and Dave on Talk Radio, AM 640.
A huge thank you to Alex Parizeau, the Ubisoft Toronto Managing Director, for inviting us there. We had a lot of time. Big thanks to all of our interns. Liam, we got Anton talking Watch Dogs. Travis is here, a new intern. If you are... you want to be a part of something like this, you want to get involved, you're at Humber College, maybe you're at Ryerson, somewhere in the area, and you're listening saying, well, I know video games, I can do this. All these interns came from there, so send us an email, vgs@640toronto.com. If you want to ask what Dave looks like, you can go to Twitter and find out. There's a cartoon version of him.
Ugh.
What is that? VGS_640?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to see the Japanese version of me.
It's not Japanese. It looks really great.
Yeah. It's fine.
Huge thank you for showing up, for listening, for being a part of this. Of course, Jesse is recording. There's so many people that make this one show come together.
It's 1 hour of pure gold.
Of pure gold, brother.
Keep me searching.
Let's leave while we're ahead.
Talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Without a doubt, The worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.